Good afternoon, guys. I thought I really needed to do this before I got a session in a minute. I just needed to go through a few things. A lot of people have been asking about bike setups and stuff for the kids. Yeah, it's important that, like, getting into BMX racing, it can be expensive and that, but it is important that you try and get things right from the off with your kids on a BMX race bike. A lot of people are getting there's not a debate. Well, there's been questions asked about handlebars length. Sorry about I'm having to hold this like this. About handlebars length, height, and width. Okay, I've tried and tested my bike. This is a ES XXL. I've tried and tested my bike with higher bars. It was alright for a bit of a leverage for manualing and stuff like that, but I was struggling to get over the front of the bike. Just get over the front of the bike for jumping and things like that. Let me just turn this round. Yeah, it's alright. You can for learning and stuff like that, but if you want to get the most out of your bike, these bikes are supposed to be run low and long. Okay, like I said, I had a Harrow XXL before, which had a long back end. This one's got the same setup as my Harrow, same length as my Harrow, but because it's got a shorter back end and a longer front end, I was wondering for months and months, I was thinking to myself, why can't I manual this shorter back end bike? It comes down to the front, because the front of the bike, I don't know if you can see that, the front of the bike here, the ride area is bigger, it takes more to pull it up. So I put a 60mm stem on it, and now the bike comes up really nice. Yeah, so that was one thing that I did on my bike. My gates, I wasn't really improving my gates that much on my bike with the bigger bars, because I seemed to be lifting the bike up rather than driving the bike forwards with the legs. So I changed the bars to smaller ones, lower bars, which in turn put my head, I'm going to just get this on video, okay, just gets your head more over the front of the bike. So when you're standing up on the bike, you're getting your head more over the front of the bike, so you're driving forwards instead of upwards, which all makes sense. Brake setup, very important to get your brake in the right position. I like to use one finger on my brake like this. Okay, it's quite nice and loose now. Just service my bike. It's efficiency really. If you're using one finger on the brake, you got more hands, you got more control over your bike like that. Brake tension as well. People say, oh, your brakes hardly work. Yeah, it's my bike. I'll ride it how I want to ride it. I was always, you know what I mean, get nervous and press the brake, always on the brake. It's not about that with me. I have my brake, it's all the way there. If you look at that, that's where it just starts the brake working. Because the simple fact is, when I'm going over jumps and that, I don't want to keep pressing my brakes. I want it loose, so it doesn't stop the back wheel, it doesn't stop my momentum. That's just how I ride. Some people like it right there, and they ride brakeless, and they hold the handlebars like that, but I always cover my brake, always. That's how I ride. So it's just personal preference really. Tyres, a lot of people go on about tyres, wider tyres for better grip. It's not all about wider tyres for better grip. Yeah, it soaks up a little bit more of the banginess, but I like this bike. It's quite a mellow bike, even though it's quite rigid. It's quite a mellow bike anyway. I just wanted to sharpen up the handling with it, and I like these. I've run 1.5 tyres on front and rear. I'm 70 kg and I don't have any problems with it, even taking it on trails and stuff. I just loose the tyres down a little bit just to get that little bit of traction in the dirt berms, and they work for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Also my gearing as well. Weekend, I'm racing I'm racing the Masters category, and I was racing this guy who is probably proper laugh at him, called Matt Allen. He's been racing since he was 4 years old, or quite young anyway. He's a professional racer, and I was managed to snap him out the gate, and then he's just leaving me on the second pedal. And he says to me, "Oh, you got a good snap, but your second pedal's rough. Good half a pedal, the rest of the pedal's rubbish." Yeah, so I was battering my head. I was thinking, I'm not that slow out the gate. So what's going wrong? I spoke to my team manager. He wasn't there. He was somewhere else. He was elsewhere. I spoke to my team manager. I messaged him, and I says, "What can I do about it?" He says, "Well, if you're getting out the gate, all right, go up a gear." So I went to a 45, 16. I was 16. I don't mess with the back anyway. But I went to a 45-2 from the front, which people says, nah, that ain't gonna work. That ain't work. And I can keep up with him down the first straight, and I was more than happy. I wasn't 100% fit on that weekend. My knee's playing up at the minute, so I just feel a little bit dodgy, but I was more than happy to succeed the goal and to keeping up with those guys down the first straight. So tinker with your bike, always mess with your bike and stuff like that, to get the most out of it. Another thing before I go, pedals. Okay, I'm running flat pedals on this, with extended studs. The best thing I ever did. So important that you've got a nice grip. On your pedals. Okay, so your feet are not just sliding all over the place when you're doing manuals and jumps and stuff. You don't want your feet to be sliding all over the place. Shoes. These are only £12 shoes, but I'm not bothered about that. They've just got the same amount of grip as Vans. I'm not bothered about that. Not bothered about the style. They're cheap shoes, but they work really well. Yeah, so just tinker your bike, try and get the most out of it, and enjoy your riding. It's the most important thing. Enjoy your riding. If you're not enjoying your riding, do something else, because what's no point in doing something if you don't enjoy it. And that is my motto. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.